Afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to today's press conference to discuss the very exciting contest between George Groves and Glen Johnson for the Super Middleweight Championship of the Commonwealth. This is a big test for George, one that that as soon as Dean mentioned it to Adam, Adam was confident that it was a fight that was more than winnable for George. It's obviously a dangerous fight, but one that if he comes through it will set himself on a level which will propel him into the elite of the super middleweight division. He's obviously a very confident young guy. He took the fight with Stieglitz for the WBO title this year, which unfortunately had to pull out of due to an injury. But had he taken that fight, I firmly believe that we'd be sitting next. I'll be sitting next to the WBO super middleweight champion of the world right now, and it would already be at that elite level. But standing in his way on Saturday from getting there is a guy who's who's been there, done it, back again, gone back and done it again and again and again. He's fought everybody at world level that you can name, and he continues to be a dangerous force, both light heavyweight and super middleweight. He's not here to make up the numbers. He's here to show that he's still got what it takes to perform at this level and higher. And I think that we're in for a terrific show, and on Saturday, of which this is going to be the highlight of the night, as far as I'm concerned. Both the guys are here for their few questions, but I'd just like to first invite George to say a few words, and then followed by Glen.
Yeah, this is a fight that I'm really excited about. Glen Johnson's a great fighter. He's been a great fighter for a long time, and this for me is a step up to a higher class of boxing, into world-class boxing, which I'm more than ready for. So getting a really good fight against a solid opponent who's going to make me work is exactly what I needed at this point, and I'm prepared well. I've had a frustrating year. I haven't boxed as much as I wanted to, but I'm going to cap the year off with a great win against a great fighter and move into world-class boxing. So I'm going to be happy.
Glen, just have a few words.
Yeah, I'm here to win the fight, and saw some fights with George Grove. He's a talented guy, a lot of upside, but I'm here to take care of business and move on.
We also have Glen's manager here, Henry Foster from the States. He's been instrumental in getting this together, and I thank him for coming over. And also we have Mr. Adam Booth, George's trainer, and all four of the guys are here for a few questions. So up to the floor.
Can I ask Glen first of all? Glen, where do you get the desire to keep going up against all the young studs who are coming through in the division? And where does that come from in you? 70 fights already.
It's just competition. I live for it. I enjoy what I do. I love boxing, and it's what keeps me going.
And where does this young man rank in your estimation? As is he on the way to a world title? Are you going to put his dreams? Are you going to shatter his dreams on Saturday night?
It's not a matter of shatter his dreams. I will defeat him. That doesn't stop his dreams. I was defeated many times before I met my dream. So it's not a shatter of his dreams. That's not my plan. I'm not here. I'm just moving on with mine.
Adam, apart from the win, what else do you expect from George in terms of what he's going to learn from the fight?
To be a world-class fighter, you have to be a genuine one. You've got to have all the tools in the box, and once you've developed all the tools, you've got to know when to use them. Glen has seen everything there is to see in a boxing ring, so it's not just good enough using all the tools against Glen, because there's nothing that George will do that Glen hasn't seen before. So it's a challenge for George to keep adapting in this fight, because that's what you have to do when you get to a higher level. You have to constantly make little adjustments throughout the fight when the guy that you're fighting is able to make adjustments to you. And that's one thing that Glen Johnson probably does better than anyone else. He makes these subtle little adjustments. And so that's the challenge for George that I'm most excited about, because it gives him a chance to show that he understands everything that he says he understands, and a chance for him to show it on a big stage.
George, there's been a bit of a spat over the last 24 hours involving yourself, Carl Froch, James McGowan. How frustrating is it for you to get drawn into that, given you hadn't said anything? It was James that was talking about a fight with Carl in the first place.
It doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's boxing. It's kind of sweet that Carl and Eddie Hearn this morning, throw their toys out the pram over it and get a little bit sensitive on Twitter. But it's interesting. I've got a big job to do Saturday, so I'm not going to get involved in any of that stuff. Mentally, I'm just concentrating on getting my fight done Saturday. After then maybe we can see where it goes. But with regards to me and DeGal, I think he's putting in poor performances, so he's going to have to try and chase names. And whereas I'm planning to put in a good performance Saturday, and then people will be looking at me and then really know what I'm all about.
You look at the difference. Sorry, just look at the difference. Look who George is fighting on Saturday, where he's fighting, the crowd he's going to be fighting against, and and look at the comparison to Saturday. There's no comparison.
Do you read into it? You getting drawn into it? I mean, has them seeing you as a threat? Do you find it flattering?
Well, yeah, I think I am a threat, and then everyone will know after Saturday. We'll sit up and take note of how much of a threat I am. That I am in the mix now. I'll prove that Saturday, and as I get into a slagging match or anything like that before Saturday, after Saturday, then I'll be able to speak more freely.
So, I mean, Carl Froch obviously beat Glen Johnson in the Super 6. Is that something you're keen to do, but more impressively than Froch did before, perhaps to lay down a marker?
I'm not comparing myself to Froch in the slightest. All I've got to do is go out and do what I need to do Saturday. I need to beat Glenn, plan to beat him convincingly and impressively. I'm plan to box to the best of my ability, and that's all I'm worried about Saturday.
And you've got to take your hat off to George as well for taking this fight. I mean, he's 15 fights into a career that he could have waited for a few more fights to have a fight of this level. This guy to my right is an absolute legend of boxing, and I know we've all got the utmost respect for him. I know George has, but I think that will probably go out the window on Saturday when they step into the ring. But up until that point, I think you've got to take your hat off to George for taking this fight.
Is that the difference, George? You're putting your own I want the line against that high caliber opponent.
I'm looking to move into world class boxing, and there was a list of names of fights that could come up, and this is the fight that was made. So it's the fight I need to take. It's a right move for me. As Adam said, I'm going to have to find answers that I haven't had to find previously in my career. I know I can do it, so I'm out to show myself, show Adam, and show everyone else that I'm ready and I'm moving on.
Yeah, is there a champion you've got your eye on should you come through Saturday?
I really don't want to name names until after Saturday. Once Saturday's done, then we can look at what's ahead. But I plan to have a busy 2013, a much more busier one than this year. I'll be in the mix, and then we'll be looking to take any opportunity that arises. But then after Saturday, we'll probably know a little bit more.
Well, it has been a frustrating year for George with the injuries. Obviously, missing out on that world title fight was a big disappointment. But come through Saturday, 2013 is the year of George Groves really comes of age, and we'll display what he can do. But let's not underestimate what task he's got on Saturday.
George, I think I might have mentioned that the only person who's stopped Glenn is Bernard Hopkins, 11th round in his career. Will you be taking to Twitter to take on Carl Froch on Twitter if you manage to stop this guy on Saturday?
He just asked that in a different format. Great work.
I don't need to call out Froch now. I need to get the fight done Saturday, and then we'll see where we're at. And that's pretty much all I can say at this moment.
What about making a statement then?
Yeah, of course. Every time I get in the ring, I plan to make a statement, Gareth. I'm not in there to hang about. I'm not in there to get overtime. We all know that Glenn boxes everyone and he doesn't get stopped, but that doesn't mean he won't get stopped on Saturday night. So if if a statement comes, a statement comes. I plan to box to the best of my ability, and then we'll see what that happens.
Glenn, is that sort of confidence something you're familiar, something you're used to seeing in younger fighters when they take you on?
I mean, what do you expect the fighter to say when you ask him questions? I mean, you know, it's not. He's saying the right things. It's nothing that I don't expect him to say.
Yeah, what about the weight? Like in the winter, how much you the weight you feel like you weight, so do you feel strong?
Oh, I feel great. I feel great.
George, do you feel you have to kind of box on the outside in this fight, or do you very difficult then not get drawn in?
You know, every time you box, especially at a high level, you have to be disciplined. You know, you can't make mistakes because you get punished for them. But we know what we're doing Saturday night. We know what we're doing. So yeah, it'll be an educated performance. It'll be nothing. I won't be going in there swinging, shall we say?
Glenn's very strong on the inside and you get the cuts in the last fight. So will you be aware of that? Are you looking to use your feet a bit?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, a cut happens. A cut happens. If you a clash of heads, it can happen to anyone. I'd never go in the ring worried about getting a cut because that's just gonna upset your rhythm and put you off your fight. So we got a solid game plan. We know what we're doing, and we're gonna go in there, and it's up to me to execute it.
And have you got sparring to replicate someone like Glen Johnson?
Same as always. You get as many bodies in as we can, and then we throw them in quick. Give them a couple of rounds here and there. Make sure they're nice and fresh. Keep me working, and it's pretty much the same as usual.
Any more questions? Thanks for all coming. We'll do some head-to-head shots.